I remember Canuck fans being in an uproar uh, last fall when Jim Benning put Frankie Corrado on waivers and he didn't clear and he went to Toronto. Then I watched as Toronto basically didn't play Corrado because they knew he wasn't top six for them, but they wouldn't waive him either because they knew they'd lose him on waivers. Now, yesterday, Corrado went public with his frustration over not playing. And while I believe Frank Corrado is a number 5 defenseman at best, and I can understand why that he's viewed as a tweener, not quite NHL, not probably too good for the AHL. If you're not going to play him, waive him. And of course, Babcock says after the game, well, it has nothing to do with whether or not I like you. And Corrado said in the interview, if the coach likes you, you play, and if you don't, then you don't get to play. Babcock says it's how you play determines whether or not you make it into the lineup. Babcock's right, and yet I've watched coaches have favorites. I've watched as Aaron Rome got a lot of games in Vancouver, and there was a lot of frustration about it at the time, and it was just a matter of Vigneault liked the way he played. Toronto does not have a rock-solid top 6 defenseman that justifies keeping Corrado out of the lineup. Scratching Corrado constantly. I can understand because Corrado is good enough to play in the NHL. He's not a point producer. He's not a shutdown defenseman. He's not. But he's got enough in his game that he should be playing. So for Corrado to come out and say, I'm frustrated that I'm not getting to play, and then for Babcock to say, I'm disappointed he feels that way, and that could get twisted into Babcock disappointed in Corrado, which is not it. But somebody somewhere is going to say it, and it's going to get clung on to like, oh, and Babcock's disappointed that he said anything. He's disappointed that he feels that way. He's not really denying it. If Corrado's not going to play, trade him. If you can't trade him, waive him. If he's going to clear waivers, then let him clear waivers. Let him play with the Marlies. Let him get his confidence back, his game back. And this has happened to players before. I've got in the latest editions of the official guide and record book, which I'm going to very carefully pull off this shelf so I don't knock anything else down. It actually has in here now, if a guy misses most games as a healthy scratch, it'll say they missed most of the season as a healthy reserve. Not a scratch, reserve. Why? Why do you want to have a player sitting like I get there's healthy scratches, I get there's extra guys, but why have a guy sit upstairs and watch hockey most of the year? Fine, he's practicing, he's working on his game, but why do it? Why isn't Corrado either waived or just traded? The Leafs don't think enough of him to play him ahead of some of the guys that got out there. I'm not getting into who's playing for the Leafs. I'm not getting into that game. I know there's guys who are going to want me to get into the game of naming who should be out in favor of Corrado. I haven't seen Corrado play enough since he left Camp Vancouver because he hasn't played. I know when he was a Vancouver Canuck and I watched Corrado play in Vancouver, I know he was a good player. He wasn't great. And can I understand him sometimes being a healthy scratch? Absolutely. I could totally understand him being a healthy scratch on occasion. Even 2 or 3 games in a row. But this many games in a row? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, Corrado is upset, and I understand it. Another one that's got me wondering about the Leafs is Jonas Enroth got called back up. Bebo's going down to the Marlies to get some games in. What is Toronto doing? Kari Ramo has an .880 save percentage in the American Hockey League and hasn't won a game yet. So I guess the Brass have looked at Ramo and gone, nope. So now Enroth comes back up. He's not going to play. But what this leaves is Freddie Anderson playing as much as maybe 70 games this year at this rate. Like, they're taking a good goaltender, and Anderson's a good goaltender, and I got flack for that at the start of the year when Anderson's numbers were bad, and I said, hey, the guy's still a good goaltender. He's borne that out now. I think we're past the point of saying whether he's good or bad. He's not top 10 in the NHL though, and they're playing him as if he is because they don't have a backup option. And again, so you've got an extra defenseman and you're missing a backup goalie, and you can't understand why those two things could help fix one another. Like I don't, and I like Lou Lamoriello and I like Mike Babcock, but there's something in Toronto here that I say, wait, what's going on? You're trying to fix your backup goaltender. There's a number of teams out there with 3 goalies. I can think of a New York Islanders team that has 3 goalies. That maybe you could finesse a deal for one of those 3 goalies. I'm not saying they haven't tried. I'm just saying that's one that comes to mind. But they send Enroth down. The coach says we're going in another direction, and they bring Enroth back up. A few weeks later, I don't get it. And right away it was reported, Ramos coming up. Ramos the guy. Ramos still hasn't been signed by the Leafs yet, as of the time I'm doing this. What is the plan? Oh, Bebo's not good enough. And Sparks isn't an option. They suspended him, and I haven't heard anything. Of course, I haven't really looked for it, but I haven't heard anything about him not being suspended. I haven't heard anything about him rejoining the Marlies. It's funny how they get rid of him, and then at the same time they pick up Ramo. Isn't that lucky? I think that's lucky. I think they were looking for a reason to get rid of Sparks personally, and I think he gave it to them. There's things I look at in Toronto, and this is a time too where I say, Toronto's getting better. But man, there's a lot to shake your head at with the Maple Leafs right now if you're a Maple Leafs fan. Obviously not Austin Matthews. The guy is playing fantastic. Mitch Marner's got off the snide. He got a goal last night too. But there's a lot around the corners, around the edges. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I will be back doing another video soon. I got some running around to do today. And I also wanted to say thank you to any new subscribers. And I also want to make another mention here. A video I did yesterday regarding the Eakin hit on Lundqvist. I don't show the plays on here because that's copyright infringement. So I understand there's a lot of channels that do it. I'm not sure how they get around it, because during last year's playoffs, I broadcast a video screen, like my TV screen in the background, the celebration of Pittsburgh winning a series, and I immediately got a copyright strike. Not a copyright strike. I immediately got a notice that my video had been demonetized. So, and I didn't care at the time because it only got like 40 views. That was at the beginning of what this channel's become. But I know if I showed that footage, YouTube would come up and go, you're trying to upload copyrighted footage. You can do that. We're just not letting you make any money off it. So that's why I don't use that footage. I will always have a link in descriptions though for this kind of thing from here on forward. I did it last night. The link's in that video. And yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way. If you have a channel where you post that kind of stuff and you're like, hey, I posted, I don't have a problem with it, then I don't have a problem linking to your channel having the actual event, because it's fine. We can work together on this kind of thing. But for me, I like to keep things clean. The Olympics also showed me you got to keep it completely clean. And yeah. But yeah, if you're a Leaf fan, let me know in the description what you think. Because to me, it looks like the team is on the cusp of actually having a really solid roster. And there's just a few things here that they could use these pieces to fix the problem. And for whatever reason, they're just coasting through. It's not a great draft, so I can't see them coasting through to try to get Nolan Patrick. Is that what's going on? All right. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all again real soon.